Can you speak to the change in what the president was looking for in terms of an outright sale versus some type of partnership, and whether ByteDance made these type of decisions in a vacuum in terms of not going with Microsoft, which I guess wanted the algorithm? I know you're really smart. You know all the intricacies of what's being discussed in the media and what we're talking about on Squawk Box. Larry Ellison, a big supporter of the president. Safra Catz also, in the transition team. You probably know her from 2016. How did all of it work out? And we know the president's a deal maker, art of the deal. So was all that evident in what we've seen transpire?
Well, speaking of the art of the deal, I mean, the reason why we're here today is obviously the president is announcing signing 2 peace deals, which I'm happy to talk about. Those were truly art of the deals, historic deals to do. But look, with regards to TikTok, America's interest in that is really national security. We want to make sure that people's data is protected, and that's really the interest. And there's a lot of great American companies who are bidding on it. A lot of them are qualified, but ultimately it was up to the company to choose who they wanted to consummate a transaction with. And then we have our role to play, which is to make sure that it's protecting American citizens. So, again, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, but I know that there's been some...
I know the Journal calls it an oddball relationship. I mean, it's Oracle wants to bolster its cloud presence, obviously, but it's not seen as a social media player, really. How did it get to Oracle if it didn't have something to do with the relationship between some of the officers at the company and the president? That had to have something to do with it, no?
Not as far as I know. As far as I know, this was a decision that was made by the company. But again, things always happen that are different, right? President Trump was not a traditional person to go to Washington, but he's come here and he's taken a different approach to a lot of things, and he's achieving results in a lot of ways that people didn't anticipate he would. So, again, I know that deal is obviously something where it looks like that company now has an application in to become an American company, to create 20,000 jobs here, and to safeguard the data so that American consumers will be protected.
Is that 20,000 jobs? Is that the secret sauce that allows the president not to insist that the algorithms actually come over here and aren't controlled by the Chinese government anymore? Is that the concession that they're making to make this deal happen in the form of which it is now?
Yeah. So my sense is that this is something that will be adjudicated on the merits. And so, again, we have a process. It will be brought to the president, and I don't believe a final decision's been made yet as to whether it qualifies.
Okay. Andrew, before we move on from TikTok, do you have additional? I know this is a story you're very interested in as well.
Jared, as you know very well, back in June and July, when Microsoft was first talking to this company, the option on the table was actually something very similar to this, a minority interest. They would host it on their Azure cloud and try to take some of the security and national security issues, trying to take them off the table. And as you know, the administration said that was not good enough. And in fact, the president then said, you need to somebody needs to take full control of the U.S. operation. And now it appears that Oracle is doing something quite similar, frankly, to what was being proposed in July and June that was effectively rejected, and sort of how to square that circle for people who are thinking about the national security implications and also what the president was saying then.
Yeah, so like I said, the application just came in. We're going to be reviewing it. I spoke to Secretary Mnuchin this morning. I know that it will be presented to the president, and hopefully it qualifies. If it doesn't, then it won't be accepted. If it does, then it will be accepted. But again, the status quo as it existed before was not something that obviously we were happy with, and that's why the president took strong action. And hopefully the application qualifies on the merits for what we're trying to accomplish from a national security point of view.